But right now, there's somebody coming to give a testimony about how God can take and turn graves into gardens. Miss Trena, would you come?
I've been fighting this for a while, telling my testimony again, but it keeps coming at me. We ended up doing it today, and both of the Hero House and the Fulton House is here. And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And then she starts singing that song, and I was like, "Wow!" I mean, it just all came together. Most of you know me, but for those who don't, my name is Trena, and I used to be on drugs and alcohol. I started in high school mainly just drinking and smoking pot on the weekends, partying, having fun. Then I just started taking pills. And I was just taking the pills every now and then, on the weekends. And then it started doing the everyday thing. I'm sorry. Then I started taking them to feel normal, because I was taking a lot, and for people who's on pills, if you don't take them, you're sick. You feel like you have the flu. I mean, it's awful. It's awful. So I would take them mainly just to feel normal. I wasn't even taking them really to get high anymore. And I worked every day. I was what you call a functioning addict. A lot of people didn't even know. I mean, my family didn't know, because I was good at hiding it. I wouldn't, if I would get really high, then I just wouldn't come out. I wouldn't come out of the house. I'd stay at home, or I'd stay with my friends and, get high. This went on for about 15 years, and after about 15 years, it got to the point to where pills weren't good enough. So I started doing meth. And then it was just, it's like it's a demon. I cannot explain meth to you and drugs to you good enough. It is a demon. I mean, it takes over you. You're not the same person. You do things that you wouldn't normally do. I mean, I've done things I'm so ashamed of. I was a liar. I was a cheater. I was a thief. My husband, I mean, he's been with me this whole time, and I don't know how he's done it, because I've done things to him, and I've cheated on him, and, because I did what I had to do to get to the drugs. Whatever I had to do, I did it. If I was laying with the lowest of the low, that's what I did. But, I was doing all that I know now to fill a void in my life. I was trying to fill that hole, I guess I had. And you're also, like, once you get high, you're also chasing your first high. You'll never find it. So you're just always going higher, and you're not finding it. I did everything I could to make me feel good, you name it, and I did it. Oh my gosh, sorry. Some of this stuff people don't know, and I'm just really nervous. But it got to a point to where I wanted to die. I mean, I would pray every day. God, just let me wreck. I mean, take me out. I was tired of it. I was tired of living. I was tired of disappointing people. I was tired of chasing pills and chasing drugs. And I mean, I was just tired of it all. And I'm talking, I would beg God, let me overdose, let me wreck and die. Just, take me out. I'm tired. So my sister, she told me, she's like, you've done everything else to try to quit. She's like, why don't you try God? And I was like, well, I guess I could try. I've tried everything else. So I went to church that Sunday, and I didn't even stop. They hadn't even started singing or nothing. I just came straight to the altar. That's how hard it hit me. I was crying, and my sister thought somebody died, and I was like, no. I was like, just do something. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, just do something. I was like, she's like, you're ready? I said, I'm ready. I was like, just do it. I was like, help me do what I got to do. So that day I got saved, and God even delivered me that day of drugs and alcohol. I had no withdrawal, no sickness, no nothing, and I told God I'd do whatever it took to make him happy and to make him, happy with me. So, that went on, and I did some things, and that lasted about 8 years. And this is the part that a lot of people don't know. About a year and a half ago, I was straddling the fence of church. I wasn't coming. I wasn't, going to meetings. I wasn't doing anything. And then COVID hit. And then Davey's mom got sick. I could sit up here and name excuse after excuse, but it's still no excuse. But I relapsed. So, I beat myself up all the time because I went 8 years and relapsed. How can you do that? How is that possible? And, God delivered me, and then I go back on him. I quit going to church, and I just couldn't believe it. But then in November, I decided, I was like, I can't go back down this road. I can't do this again. So I came back to church in November, and I gave my life back to God. So now I've been clean since November. It's hard, and it's hard for recovering addicts. Look at me. I was clean for 8 years, but I still had people in the church contacting me and, checking on me. And, I was just like, whatever, and trying to ignore them. But I realized without God, I couldn't do it. I did it all that time with him by my side and the church by my side. And as soon as I quit going, as soon as I started shoving God out of my life, I relapsed. I went back. And you know what? God's making me understand I've moved on. And it's hard. As you can see, I'm still having a hard time forgiving myself. But I know I can do this, and I know God has great plans for me, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do whatever he wants me to do, and I'm gonna tell my testimony, even though I get nervous and I probably stumble around. But addicts and recovering addicts especially need your prayers. We all need your prayers. It's a struggle. It's a struggle every day. You have to quit hanging out with friends that you're hanging out with. You're lonely because you have to hang out by yourself. It gets lonely. And, you try to find new friends. You don't know who to trust because you know how you was in the past. You know how your friends was in the past. So you have a hard time trusting people. And, we need prayers to help to stay clean and sober. That's about all I got for now. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we have NA classes on Mondays from 7 to 8. Thank you.
Remember the story last week of Nehemiah? Those old burned down stones, the rubble, the trash that the enemy said, you're going to rebuild with that? I'll take 100 Trenas any day. I'll rebuild with that.